you very much. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for coming to my presentation. So today I would like to talk to you about collaboration of human and artificial intelligence. And I would like to share with you some of my experience as a practitioner mostly. So I am based in Warsaw at Kozminski University. We are a business university established 31 years ago, so rather new, but doing quite well in various ratings. So if you like to maybe come on Erasmus exchange, or you have students who would like to come to Poland, study business studies, law, management, finance, you are welcome. And I am the head of a language center, so we teach 7 languages. All students study English, and they have a choice of 6 languages as the second foreign language, including Polish as a foreign language for our international students. So we are a team of over 60, now almost 70 teachers. At the moment, we have around 220 groups, and we also are exam centers for certificate exams. TOEFL for legal English, Lingua Skill for business English, and GETE Pro for German. So today we talked already about whether AI will replace us as meaning language teachers or not. That's the question which we asked a lot ourselves about a year ago. But I think now that's not the question. That's rather the question of collaboration and using the true potential of AI to complement our work rather than replicate human intelligence. So I think that AI will protect us from potential risks on the job market, will make us, you, more competitive and creative, and help you shape your professional career consciously. So the key words now are rather not replacement, but I would say precision. Precision about asking precise questions and receiving better answers the more precise we are. Iteration, which refers to trial and error, repeating tasks and questions in order to achieve better and better results. And also refining our prompt, so structuring so that the answers we receive are more meaningful to us. It's about limitations of AI also, which refers to some language subtleties and new cultural nuances which AI, or emotions which AI hasn't got. It's about usage. So I would say integrating AI tools into our everyday language instruction. It's about integrity. We also talked about that already today. So our integrity, how we use the tools and how our students use the tools. It's about creativity. So fostering our creativity by being assisted by AI in our work, modeling our tasks and assignments, and about professional development. So today I will share with you my ideas on how to design certificate exam tasks, how to transform these tasks into interactive online activities, how to write case studies, and also self-publish them online, how to supplement course book materials, how to facilitate language mediation skills such as paraphrasing and translation, how to assist our students in job interview preparation, how to improve students' pronunciation, how to provide feedback on students' writing, and how to teach students to use AI critically and ethically, and how to create retrieval quizzes quickly. So, why do ESP or language teachers in general design materials? So I would like to share this quote with you. Have a look. So as simple as that. And we can also say that it's a natural stage of our professional development. So first we teach, we are junior teachers, more experienced teacher, and we also sometimes move in our careers into authors, writing materials. Or maybe our students have very specific needs. I teach law students and lawyers, so very often they have this very, very specific needs, like teach me about GDPR or teach me about e-delivery, because that's what I'm talking about with my clients. Also because we teach ESP courses, because they are very specialist and there are sometimes not many materials available, or maybe no one else writes about what we teach. But also that there is another reason now, because there is an AI, and we can use it for our benefit. And I think that's the fourth industrial revolution that we are experiencing, and that's our response to this revolution. So response of knowledge workers, because knowledge workers will be mostly affected by AI. Not manual workers, but knowledge workers, and unfortunately, majority of knowledge workers are women. And it's also a reflection of the growth mindset, so that of our openness to change and our adaptability to changes. So I think this also, we need to think about not only about our students, but also about ourselves and develop competencies of the future. So I have selected some which I think are the most vital in this context. So communication, but communication in the digital world using Gen AI, ability to find and access information, adaptability to changes, also agility and flexibility. So being able to adjust to the new conditions. Cybersecurity also now is one of such skills. Cooperation in various teams, not only international, but virtual, hybrid, resilience. So not being strong enough to survive, being empathic, so empathy and understanding our students, our peers, what they are struggling with, especially in Poland, we experience, these challenges now because of the war and immigrants. That I teach only Ukrainian students in my business English student classes. I don't have a single Polish student now. So what I want to, or what I call this AI, I would say it's collaborative AI. So this new model of work where we combine these two potentials. So we use the synergy of AI and HI, and we enhance each other's strengths. So we are creative, we have know-how, we develop new competencies, but AI is fast. It produces flawless text, so it can free us from this mundane, monotonous tasks. And we can focus on more high value, unique tasks. And it's about prompting now. So how we prompt AI, how we generate advanced context using text prompts. There is also a question of copyrights. If we create these texts, for example, using AI, who owns the copyright? Is it the human or who is the author? So I would like to show you a few strategies that we can use to structure prompts. So the first strategy is RTFL strategy, where we describe the role, the task, the format, and limitations. So let me show you an example of such prompt. So the role is act as legal educator. Target audience are law students specializing in contract law. Task: develop 1 hour interactive case study session, explain and apply foundational contract law principles, introduce key vocabulary, so you can also give examples what exactly you want. So for example, offer, acceptance, consideration, etc. And present a fictional or historical contract dispute for students. Constraints is duration, so 1 hour frame time, and maybe format requirement that I want this to be presented, for example, as a structured narrative or in a table or as a list of points. So it depends on me. So here I also show you another strategy, give example strategy. So this is an exercise which I created in the past. So it's word formation exercise where students have to write words deriving from capitalized words. I already created it some time ago. Now I paste it as a model and ask AI to write a similar exercise for C1. Here I would like to mention that that's probably not the best description. So AI does not really understand this CEFR scale. It's better to say advanced or nearly, let's say, native proficiency. And this is what I got. So I got a text. I have some examples. Some of them make sense. Some of them make no sense, but I have a text. I can quickly modify the exercise to have a new one. That's another one. Here I was wondering whether I can copy and paste an exercise from a course book. And this is from International Legal English course book published by Cambridge University Press about 20 years ago now. And about a month ago at a conference, I met the author of this book and he said, you know what I did? I pasted the whole PDF with this book because it's so old now. And I asked AI, please give me where or show me where this book needs updating. And he got a long list, chapter by chapter, text by text, what is outdated, what should be changed. So, and I think it also shows that saying C1, CFR is not the best because this exercise, which is created for prepositions in tort law, is a little bit, I would say, too easy for C1 level. But if you want to see more of my exercises, you can go to this website, pustulka.edu.pl. If you teach business English or legal English, this is where I upload a lot of my content. And in public exercises section there, you can find a few hundred exercises available to students. Another strategy is step-by-step prompting. So here I would like to show you a case study which I created. It's about property built near Warsaw. And the first picture, this one, is from the advertisement advertising this property. And of course, the watercolor is completely wrong because the water looks like that. That's the picture which I took because I live nearby. So I thought, let's think about this scenario. So there is a buyer who purchased an apartment near this lake, relying on misleading pictures that portray the lake's water as clean and inviting. However, upon arrival, he found that the water was dirty, brown, and had an unpleasant odor. He's seeking compensation for the misrepresentation. So what I did, I asked step-by-step questions. So act as an English teaching material authors, write a role-play activity. Okay, the next one was prepare the cards for both students. Then prepare a list of useful legal English vocabulary for this case study. Then what contract clauses might be relevant in the case above. Draft a sample misrepresentation clause which supports the buyer. Then how does the above clause support the buyer? So it was also learning from AI because I'm not a lawyer. So I also needed some feedback, you know, to be prepared to talk about this. And I'm showing you the questions, like step-by-step questions I asked the AI. Then draft a sample limitation of liability clause, which might support the seller in this case. And how does this clause support the seller, and suggest follow-up writing activities for students to do as homework. So if you'd like to see the whole of this case study, you can use this link or scan the QR code. So, and that's the website, Flip HTML5, where you can publish online your materials in form of this flipping book. So, you know, it looks more modern and students can access them immediately on their devices. Another website is flipbookpdf.net. And here you can find a follow-up activity where this buyer finally bought this apartment and the task was to negotiate a tenancy agreement with a potential new tenant. So I also tried with the same book, thank you, International Legal English came from Cambridge. I just, you know, copied the screen of the page with a case study, pasted it to ChatGPT and asked it to write a similar case study, but this time dealing with partnerships. And this is what I achieved. So I had exactly the same structure of a case study. So facts of the case, relevant legal documents. I checked. Some of these documents were non-existent, but for my purposes, it wasn't a problem. Yes, because it was supposed to raise discussion rather than check whether, you know, these are real life examples or not. So so the texts were there. Then there was a task for role play and a task for writing. And I asked Chat to create teacher's notes for this case study, where I got the answers and the lesson plan and the model answer for the letter. Because that was really what I was always missing when I was using case studies from different books, that there were no model answers. So you can ask chats, can be GPT, can be any other chat that you like. Yes, can be Perplexity, Gemini, Copilot, producing model answers for you. That's a similar one. So I take a page from the book with maybe not very long, but rather boring text about company capitalization. And I ask Chat to help me prepare speaking activities for a legal English lesson with a practicing young lawyer about company capitalization. And what it did was this case study discussion. So in the procedure, I could read that I should provide a brief case study summary. So I asked, so I was refining the prompts. I asked the chat, write a summary of company's financial situation, goals and current capital structure for this activity. And I got this description. And then I asked chat to teach me, suggest 2 strategies for issuing new shares for XYZ Corporation. And I got 2 strategies. I used this case with a lawyer and it made sense. Yes, there was a lot of content to talk about. Now about paraphrasing. So my students, future lawyers, they need to know how to paraphrase legalese into plain language. So this is how we compare, for example, assignment clause, original, paraphrased by Bing and by ChatGPT 4 and 2.5, comparing versions, recycling plain language rules and choosing the one which is actually the best. So there is a lot of critical thinking and also language work done. And this is how lawyers exploit chats, yes, for paraphrasing and translating. I think it works quite well. I also like to recommend to use 2 apps which you can use to create listening tasks, Natural Reader and 11 Labs. So you paste languages as well. In the paid version of 11 Labs, I cloned my voice by recording about 30 seconds of reading a text in Polish, and then I recorded a podcast, which was, you know, no fuss, no technical problems, no correcting, rewinding, etc. So it really works. And for speaking, you can use this extension, yes, for ChatGPT. And then you can talk to it on your computer. And for example, my students could prepare for a job interview using it. My daughter tried a job interview in German using this, and it worked. But also if you use an app on your mobile phone and you have, even with this free version, you can talk to your chat, and there are some limitations if you are using a free version. If you are using paid version, you can go on without any limits. And yeah, so we talked about students' feedback. I use it for providing feedback to my students. I give this prompt in which I describe what I want the chat to look at, how many points should be awarded. And I must admit that ChatGPT I'm much stricter when assessing my students. Okay, so okay, and I don't know if you tried to use ChatGPT
to smile.
Yeah, to OCR your text. Here you can see the notes from the board I made during my class, and I pasted a picture of the board to chat, and I asked it, please OCR my notes. And within a second, I got a list of what I wrote on the board, and then I asked it to create a retrieval quiz. You can find it under this QR code if you would like to see. So it really speeds up the whole process. I didn't have to sit and make notes and then write sentences, Just, I don't know if I have more time. I have just a few more things, so quickly click. Okay, so maybe this is also something that you might be interested in. It's called emerging collaborations. So emerging collaborations are such spontaneous collaborations that you assign to your students without any preparation. And the essence of these collaborations is to design or to develop this mechanism of collaboration among students. And you let them use any tools they want, and together they create something. They only need to have access to a shared document. It can be a PowerPoint, for example. I use PowerPoint, and each slide looked like a case note. There was a template. So on the left, you can see this template which they got. On the right, they got the one which was completed by my students. So description of a case following this case note structure. And it was all in one PowerPoint. Each group worked on a different slide. Each slide looked the same, so they could, compare what they had with other groups. And then they had to evaluate these posters in a form, Microsoft Forms, because that was the comment I wanted to make. This self-evaluation, or maybe peer evaluation. The problem with this is that we need to teach students first. When they tell them, okay, now peer evaluate others, they always, oh, it was fantastic. Bad. I've never seen anything better. But they really need to learn how to do it. And this is because they also have to evaluate their own work. And they say, how can I evaluate my own work? Mine was the best. And I say, are you sure? You have access to all work. Yes, compare. Is it really the best? So it's also developing this 21st century skills, and also teaches them to use AI mindfully and ethically. And if you use Kahoot, there is a recipe which you can take picture of, and it will create questions. You paste this recipe to ChatGPT, and it will create questions, multiple choice. You just copy it and paste to Excel, and you upload to Kahoot. And two apps, quizzes, and TWE, which you can use when you have no time and you are really in a hurry, just preparing at the last minute, which I assume may sometimes happen. And also about academic writing. If you teach academic writing and students need to find some sources, these are reliable ones. So the site or SciSpace and Jenny, so they do not hallucinate. They do find sources which exist. Okay, SciSpace, even without logging into it, you can upload papers and it will analyze papers. It will also analyze papers available online. And it has this AI detector. Of course, these AI detectors are not perfect, but this one, if you paste something created by ChatGPT, like without any intervention, it will show you it is ChatGPT. It's like 98% AI. Because when I paste my articles, it says, oh, 2%, 3%, yes. But when I paste directly from chat, it will discover. So about conclusions, yes. So we are the human in the loop. We should be the decisive part. We make the decisions. Yes, lawyers also have questions about this data protection issue. So if you should anonymize materials that you upload. You can also use the same prompt with different chats, because each time you will receive a different output, so you can decide which one works best for you, and learn how to provide this high quality, precise prompts, because when we do paraphrasing and the prompt is like paraphrase, it's rubbish. Yes, it must be paraphrase in plain English, using verbs, not nouns, short sentence, blah, blah, blah. Yes, so it requires a lot of intervention. And be open and don't be afraid of experimenting, because only when we sit down and start using it, we start to see the potential and options and how we can exploit it for our purposes. We need to have our AI integrity rules, or follow our institution's integrity rules. And we also included something similar to what we heard today about this originality statement, but this at my university is only done in language classes, because we don't have anything like that binding upon our university. So I created this for language teachers, and we added to written assignments of our students, so they have to tick the right box. And remember, there is an AI for that. If you need AI, or if you don't know which AI you need, you can use this website and ask which one will work best for you. Okay, so please stay in touch. These are my details. Thank you so much. We have time for one question, because we're running very late.
Yes, I'm sorry.